afternoon, good evening to everyone, and welcome to today's session. And today's session is on Power Query data transformation. And we have a special guest. First of all, I need to apologize that their background noise where I am, but this is the best I could do. I'm at the airport, and this is the only place I could come to that is a bit quiet. So, but since you just hear me for some seconds, I will be off. I'll switch off my mic and off. So we have Ekta Chandak. We are honored to have her, and she's going to be taking us on Power Query data transformation. And just to let you know that this session is brought to you by UrBizEdge, we're a Microsoft Excel consulting, financial modeling, BI, and data analysis company. You can always look us up online and get access to other things we do and make available to the community for free. So if you're also interested in training, feel free to contact us. So let's go straight to the main thing. Ekta is senior analyst at Index. She's got master's in business admin from IBS Bengaluru. She's got a specialization in finance and analytics. And also she has a BComs from Shri Shikshayatan College. Apologies if I got the pronunciation wrong. And then she's got experience across a wide array of fields: risk management, arbitrage project management, arbitrage in derivatives markets with futures and options, research, trading, and she's, permit me to say, she's got math skills in forex trading in case you've not been profitable with your forex trading. She can help you with technical signals. So I'm going to hand over to her. Expertise are in Microsoft Excel, PowerPoint, R, and financial modeling. So Ekta, the stage is yours. I'm going to stop sharing, and you can take it away. I'm going to get out of
Yeah,
your way. Thank you.
charger.
Okay. So
Thank you for the warm intro. So, hi all. Basically, the topic which I am going to cover is related to the Power Query, in that is Power Query, that is data used in Power. Let me share my screen. So, basically, let me know if my screen is visible.
yes, it is.
Yes, it is.
Okay, so basically, yeah, so we're going to cover the Power Query, how it's used. Like it's a basically, we know that Power BI is a ETL tool. Basically, ETL stands for extract, transform, and load. So how it is useful as compared to Microsoft Excel. Like people use Microsoft Excel also. So what are the biggest advantages of using Power Query in Power BI compared to the MS Excel? So yeah. So the basic agenda is like why Microsoft Power BI, how it will benefit the uh, finance and insurance sector and yeah, so basically these are the agenda that I am going to cover. So let's quickly go there. So the supported data sources in Power BI like are the flat file SQL database like O Data Feed and Azure Cloud Platform and online services. Means in Power BI, like we can connect. For example, I'll click on this. We have this new source tab. So new source, like we have Excel, SQL Server, analysis services, text CSV, web. Through the by suppose we have any URL which I going to link with the Power Query in the Power BI. Then I can use those links and directly copy paste the link in the URL section box and I connect to the Power BI. So we have O data feed and we have blank query. These are the supported data sources in Power BI. And so in Power Query in Excel, like we have out, yeah, the same thing we can do. So basically, the major differences, like the huge difference between the Power Query in Excel and versus Power Query in Power BI is like when we see, for example, like choose, close, and apply. Am I clearly audible? No?
Yes, you are very clear
Yes,
and
yes.
visible.
Okay.
And maybe just to use this opportunity to mention to everyone that if you have questions, we will take questions at the end so that we don't break the session. So if you have questions, drop them in the chat box or note them down. Then at the end, Ekta is going to give us opportunity to ask those questions. Okay, so you can carry on.
Thank you. So basically, Power Query, how to open the Power Query pop-up window in Power BI. Basically, when after uploading, we get three options like load, transform data. Like I'll just show you. Suppose I use the data set INC 5000 companies CSV. So after uploading, we see that we have three options, that is load, either transform data, or usually we go with transformation, then include with the transforming data. So the Power Query editor window pops up. So what we do is like we have these three options in Power Query in Power BI, like text analytics, Azure, and this is like AI insights, like it's related to the artificial intelligence and machine learning. So basically, we can even club the machine learning algorithms with Power BI and do the stuffs. Like, but recently I've not used these options because right now I've not been in the project in this one. But these features are missing in Microsoft Excel. The major difference which I observed while using Power Query in Power BI versus in Excel, this was the major differences. So we have other differences too. So we'll go through one by one. So relations, yeah. So basically, what are the transformations? What are the how the pivot columns is used using data profiling tools, that is column distribution, column quality, and other, yeah. So these are the data profiling tools. We'll go through one by one. How to use custom columns, the three types of unpivoting columns, pivot, unpivot, splitting columns, and so on. So basically in the pivot columns, for example, I'll go in this. We have this data, suppose pivot table data set. Suppose I take a small data set. This is country, date, and value. Suppose I want to unpivot. We have these tabs in Power Query when Power Query window pops up. For example, we have new source, recent sources, manage parameters. We have choose columns. For example, if I want to choose a column, suppose country, even value, so I'll click on OK. So the middle column goes away. So these are the features of the choose columns. Then we have remove columns. It works like same vice versa of choose columns. Then we have keep rows. Then we have different options under keep rows, that is keep top rows or bottom rows, or keep range of rows. Suppose I want to keep top rows. For example, I want to keep only two top rows. So it works like this, and the same vice versa of the remove rows. So we have these functions. Will cover one by one. Then we under transformations we have pivot columns. We'll click on pivot. Suppose I want to pivot on the basis of value. I'll click on OK. So we see that the table has been pivoted. Earlier it was in this form. If we have this applied steps options in Power Query in Power BI, that is used to cross check whether you have done it on, whether the last step that you have done is correct or not. For example, like we have Control Z in Excel, as we know, the common thing. We have this features also, like if I click on this small icon, I can get that whether what action past I have done. I can, cross check. Like I have pivoted on the basis of value. I'll click on OK. These are the small examples to make clear the concepts basically. each concept that is used in Power Query. So we earlier, if I want to check what the data set was, I'll click on cross. So this was the about the pivot column. Then we have using the data profiling tools, that is column quality, column distribution, and column profile. So I'll click on this. For example, taking the Apple data set, it is a, like we basically related to the financial sector. We have open, high, low, close, trading days. These are the trading days on which the stock has been traded in the exchange. Then we have adjusted close values. Then we have volumes. So basically, these are the daily updates. We have monthly updates as well. These are the monthly updates data set. These are the weekly update data sets. So I want to suppose, for example, click on view to see the errors or any null values which are present in any column in this data set. We can see that using by clicking on this like column distribution. We can identify that 254 are distinct and 254 are unique. If my pace is little high, you can stop me.
No, it's going fine. We hear you clearly, and the screen is also good. And I'll be checking the chat box, but so far all is going great. You can carry on.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So basically, we have, if I click on column distribution, we have 254 distinct and 254 unique in the date column. In open, we can see we have 251 distinct and 248 unique. I'll request anyone if not speaking to mute. Thank you. So basically, we have that means the remaining, five are not unique. We have high, we have low, then we have close. So we'll click on this column profile. Then we'll get the exact count. That is 254 rows, zero errors, no empty, zero empty. And these are the max, mean, average, standard deviation calculations, which, with the basic stats that has been done. Uh, by clicking on this column profile button, we can get this info of respective of the entire this data set only, and respective rows we can get through column distribution. So when we click on column quality, we get like specific columns wise, then like how many are empty, how many are valid, how many contains errors. So this means that adjusted close has 0% error, 0% empty, and 100% it is valid. So this is how we interpret the data, and we have covered this. So we'll go to the next topic. We have unpivoting. So for example, unpivoting is, we have suppose this data set, small data set I have to, I'll click on this, uncheck this options so that I don't get that data. We have unpivoting, suppose we have country USA, Canada, Panama, and we have these on the respective dates, we have these specific values. I want to unpivot. So unpivoting columns is present under transform tab. So we have three more options under unpivot, either unpivot columns, either unpivot other columns, or only selected columns. Suppose I want to unpivot using other columns. I'll click on this. So it will get unpivot on the basis of that. So basically, unpivoting is used when we want to make small the large data set at one pace, and we want all the values to be displayed at a one pace. Then the unpivoting option is used. So we have these countries and respective on the respective dates and their respective values. Suppose I want to unpivot only selected columns. So it will be like splitted into this because I have only selected the value column. So the attributes and value, it will be splitted like this, and I'll cross this. Suppose I want to pivot and pivot other columns. So again we can redo, means we can cross check using this unpivot other columns or unpivot selected columns. Actually, yeah, so first and last options works like reciprocally, like the same only. We use these two options mainly. I have, I'll share one of my experience when I was working with the Festman data set challenge of so one data set was there, that is micro world. It was very bulky. So I used this means basically when I was using the third option, that is unpivot only selected columns, the data set become means I have unpivoted and the entire data set and become very small, and it was easy to work with while cleaning the data. So Power Query is basically used for cleaning and furnishing the data so that we can get meaningful insights at the while creating the dashboard to the end user. We can. So this was about the unpivoting. Then we have the custom column window, that is custom column options. We have suppose for example taking any data set, custom column. Suppose if we want to enter any manual formula, custom column. Mm, yeah, suppose for example, I have sales, I have quantity, I have product name. Suppose sales 54, so any random numbers. We have quantity 20, 30, 40, 50. Then product name, suppose A, B, C, D. This is the table. Data set 1. So we have this table. Suppose I want a custom column. I'll go to add column, click on custom column. So basically I want to calculate the entire sales value using this. For example, we have by default the formula which we use in custom calculating using the custom column, we use mQuery language. So mQuery language is basically this. This is the entire formula which is used in this entire box is known as mQuery language. So we have DAX also, so that I'll not cover in this session. So we calculate the sales value. I want to drag using this, put a star marks, then drag this, insert. See, when we enter any formula, we in the custom column box, so we click on no syntax. If we get this pop-up, no syntax errors have been detected. It means that the formula is correct. We can click on OK. So we get the entire sales value of the respective products. by multiplying the sales into quantity. So this was the simple custom formula that I used. I also have other formulas, like for example, using other formulas, and that is more, I think it will be more clear. Hmm. We have first name, last name, then we have suppose login name, and we have last logon date. Then we have, okay, display name as well. I think display name doesn't make sense. We can delete this. Suppose I'll give A, B, C, any random names. First name, last name I'll give as any name. Login name I'll give as last logon date. 2020. Display name I'll give as EC, AC, any random. So for example, this is data set 2. We'll click on OK. So I have this data set. So I will use the M query language that I use. Like I'll click on custom column. Suppose I want to display only the last logon date. Last logon date using the M query formula. Since I have already used that name, I guess in the formula. So I've given 2. We'll use date to text function. Date to text. This is the function that we'll use. I'll open space, brackets, last logon date, comma, I'll put DDMA, parenthesis close. I think date to text function and query language. Okay. So I'll got years. So I'll rename this column. So this was how we calculate the years. Then I suppose I want to calculate using the month to digit. I want to extract only months. Then suppose I'll rename this column as month to digit. Date to text function again. Last logon date. We want only months. So we'll parenthesis close. Now click on OK. So we see that only the month has been extracted from the last logon date. And suppose I want only the month name, then I'll use M, like suppose, or date to text, open brackets, last log on date. I think okay. Click on OK. So we see that we got only the month name, that is 7 January, 8 January, 9 Jan and 10 Jan. And month name, this is how we use basically the M custom column feature under add column. So yeah. So then we have reverse and count rows as well. For example, uh, basically if I'll go under the transform tab, we have so many features: group by, use first row as headers and use first row. Suppose for example we in our data or in some data sets, the rows are not properly organized. Suppose the date column is in the date and open, high, low, close, adjusted, close are in first row. Instead of like it will get columns only. Suppose I click on this. Yeah, so this is the unordered feature that we get in some data sets. So that is why the Power Query editor is used for data cleaning. So this is not looking appropriate. So we'll click on this, use first row as headers. So this is how we use this option. So we have transpose, reverse and count rows. The count rows is simply like we use this functions. And we have other reverse rows and transpose rows. Reverse will it will only reverse the last column to the first and vice versa. We can uncheck this options. So we have the different data types in Power BI, in Power Query in Power BI. So we have decimal number, fixed decimal number, whole number, percentage. So we have actually in Power Query we have three options to cross check our Power data types in different columns. This was one of the options. Like we can cross check. We have this tab also. This is the second option, how we can check the data types of respective columns. We have other, when we right click, we'll get other data types also. Yeah. So these are the data types that basically we get. These are the three options how we can cross check the data type. Here also we can rename the columns. We have the replace values functions. If it contains any, we have two options, two ways in fact to cross check the or replace values. When we click on this, right click, we have replace values. Either we can replace from here or we have we can replace from here. So these are the options. It can be converted into list also. Then we can we have different options, like these are to be self little bit explored also, like we have left, right and beginning. Suppose this column I want to move it to the right, I'll click on this, it will move it to the right. So these are the options which are available uh, under the transform tab. So we have next split column. So suppose under split we have different options. Like there are 8 types of split. Suppose this is the data set that I want to split. Sometimes our data set looks like this, which contains the employee ID, first name, last name, like this. So I'll use delimiter options, comma, each occurrence of the delimiter. So it has been splitted and now I can rename it accordingly. Suppose I want to rename this as serial number. I want to rename this as first name. I want to rename this as last name. So these are the splitting option by delimiter. Now suppose for example I want to split on the basis of positions. I want to split on the basis of positions. This is a customer list that X01982 or something. It's a sample data set. So I'll click on by positions. It has actually, I've already given 0, 1, 6. So that means it will take, it will count 0 from the first, then it will split accordingly. We have advanced options. Either we can split into rows or either we can split into columns. Suppose I want to split into rows, we can click on OK. It will get splitted like this, but it's not looking, appropriate, or the user can't draw the proper information from this, so we can use other options as well. We can click on the settings icon and change it to columns. So in this way, and you can like rename the columns according to your preference. We have other split options. Like for example, I want to split on the basis of number of characters. So I'll give 3 characters because we can see like saying 1 second. Only as far as left is right. I have clicked on Delimiter, sorry. Yeah. So we can see that we have splitted the column by positions using only as far left as possible. These are the 3 options we can use under the split, and we can rename it. Suppose I rename on the basis of first name and last name. First name and last name. So this was the third type of split. Now suppose I want to these two options like lowercase to uppercase and vice versa, uppercase to lowercase, like it has splitted the uppercase and lowercase separately. So this was the basic. So by non-digit to digit we have, for example, the digit column has been separated from the text column. So this is how we use the last split by digit to non-digit or by non-digit to digit options. So we can rename this again. Like suppose I want to rename this on the basis of only values and names. So splitting has been done. Transpose done. We have another functions like group by. So for example, I have taken this another like sample only data sets. These are the data sets on which we can explore, different options under Power Query and understand the concepts. So group by table data, we have year, we have product, sales, units, and we can group by on the basis of, suppose I'll choose advanced options. We have 2 options under group by, basically. Yeah. So advanced and basic. So basically in basics, what happened, like if I want to group more than one row, we can use advanced options. If we can see we have add grouping feature over here. So we can we can group more than one row using advanced options, whereas in basic it doesn't happen. We can group only on the basis of we have only one. We cannot add one more group row and group it together. So these are the basic differences. Suppose I use country, add grouping, and I use suppose sales channel. Suppose I use sales channel, sales. Sales group by table. Total units or total units, country, sales channel, then I'll use sum. I want the total units. So I'll click on OK. So we see that in the country, like we got basically country, then sales channel, then total units accordingly. So earlier our data set was like this. I've duplicated the data. Now we can see that we had USA for all the 4 years, that is 2020. We had different products of USA and the sales channel and units. All the units of the USA have been grouped like on the basis of the sales channel online. That is, for example, or these two, like 5,000 plus 7,000 has means its total is equal to the 12,000. That on the basis of sales channel and country wise I have grouped. So we using advanced options in group by. So this was one of the features. Then we have to promote the rows to the column headers. We have completed. We basic actions in the Power Query. We have merge and append queries. That is the most important, and conditional columns. So basically, if we right click on this, we get so many options. Like either we have remove duplicates. If we have any duplicates, we can remove it. See, so then we can get only the specific country, and specific according to the specific channels, we get the total units. So these options have to be little bit explored. So we have another function, that is conditional column, that basically it is under add column. So for example, we have this data set city, state, region, district and country. I want to give a condition. Suppose I want to give customer location. I want to know customer location. Then we have column name state. If the state is equals to the West Bengal, then it's regional. I'll add clause if else not, if the state is equals to the, suppose Maharashtra, it equals outsider, else others. I'll click on OK. So I have added this, like we can see the customer location. If it is West Bengal, then it will result me as regional. If it is not even West Bengal and Maharashtra, it will result me as others options. So this is the conditional column feature. And then we have append queries and merge queries. That is the most important part. We have these three data sets, like as I told, Apple data set, finance. This was one of these three are the financial data sets, and suppose I want to append it. I want all these three to get visible at one place in one data set. So I'll use append options under the add column. Yeah. So under the home tab, we have two options, that is append queries or append queries as new. If I want to make queries, if I want to make changes to the already existing appended table, then I'll use appended queries option, append queries first option. If I want to append newly, I'll use append queries as new option. It is more than 3 tables, so I'll drag and drop this. I'll click on OK. This is append to, because actually I've already appended once previously. So we see that all the monthly, weekly and daily data of the Apple stock has been displayed at once. So this was the append query. Then we have merge queries. Merge queries, basically, for example, I have these two tables, manufacturer ID and manufacturer name. Manufacturer ID is basically, we have like according to the serial wise, we have different manufacturer name A, B, C, D, and we have sample data set product table. Product table, we have also manufacturer ID and manufacturer name. It works like SQL basically. Like these are the common columns which are present in manufacture table also. Suppose I want to merge it. Again, under merge queries, we have two options. Like if I want to make changes to the existing query, we use merge queries, and or else the second option. I'll use the second option. We have product table. I'll choose manufacture table from here. Then I'll click. It has matched 5 out of 5 rows, so I'll click on OK. So we get this table and we click on this table, we can get the specific data also. Like this manufacturer ID has this manufacturer name, like this. So basically merge queries is used when we have more than one column in common between two tables. It works like SQL joins, like left join, right outer joins and all. So this was about the merge queries option. So then we have conditional column has been done. So basically we means if I suppose I want to, after cleaning the data set and all, suppose I've taken one INC 5000 companies data set, a small data set, like to create a dashboard. So basically what we do is the first data cleaning part, like in Power Query, in this only, I'll remove this URL because I don't need this URL to be present, because it will not be used in making dashboard basically. Then rank, we check the data types first, like it is in whole number, it is in text. I think this is also not needed. Yeah. So we have state, revenue, have to, revenue is in text. Yeah. So then we have industry, is it in text? Suppose metro. We see that we have some blanks in the metro column. I'll click on this replace values option. I'll replace the blanks with suppose data not provided. I'll replace the blanks with data not provided and click on OK. So we see that we have checked the data types also, revenue is fine. Okay. And I'll check whether blanks are there or not. Other blanks are not there. So I'll delete this because it contains error, I guess. So I'll click on close and apply. So this is the data cleaning part in Power Query Editor that we did. Now making a small, like dashboard, if I'll make small, like we have to suppose, for example, previous table. I think close and apply. Or I take a new page and then I'll upload. That will be the best option. Yeah, so I'll upload the INC 5000 data set again. I'll again do the data cleaning part since we have lost remove. We'll check the data types. Replace values with data not provided. Then I click on close and apply. Perfect. So, for example, I want to calculate the staff increment basically. So, I'll click on this data view. Yeah. So, this is the data view where we can display our data. So, we click on new column and we calculate the staff increment. Suppose. So, we have this INC 5000 workers minus INC 5000 previous workers. I'll click on OK. We got the basically staff increment, that is workers minus previous workers. What was the increment as compared to the previous year? Then I suppose, for example, I want to find out the reduction as well, like reduction in the sense like in the staff increment, what was the reduction? So I'll use sine function for example. So 5000 staff increment, close the parenthesis, click on OK. These are the reductions that we got, and now I'll go to my, after cleaning the data, like after making calculations has been done, like a small da- da- dashboard I'll make, like so that we can get the clear understanding. Like suppose which was the least I think, yeah, least company that. One second. Yeah, which was the average revenue among the companies on the list, or which was the which industries are most and least represented in the list, for example. So I'll create a small measure here, like a new measure, least represented industry is equal to the, I'll use main function, and click on OK. Then I'll drag and drop the colors marks card, least represented in the list. So I'll see that advertising and marketing is the least one that I got as the result. And suppose I want the industry most represented in the list. Again, I'll click on new measure. New measure. Industry most represented in list is equal to max function. Like suppose I'll use only max. Okay. Then I'll drag and drop the colors marks card here. Yeah. So travel and hospitality is the most represented in the list. So then we have suppose, yeah, I want to calculate the average revenue across all the industries. So I'll pick up any stack bar chart here. I'll drag and drop the name column in the axis, then industry in the legend, then average revenue that we calculated. I think, okay, revenue I have not calculated average. So I'll create a new measure. Average revenue. Then I'll select this. I'll drag and drop average revenue in values. I think something is going to average revenue has been calculated. Yeah. So revenue country. Average revenue. So suppose, for example, I'll pick up any other chart. I want to see the average growth rate, for example, across all the industry. So average growth rate can be calculated. I have to use the different measure for that as well. Average growth rate across the industry. Average X function I'll use. Average X INC 5000 company. So for example, when we use average X function, we have to first refer to the table and then expression. So table I'm referring to this, and then I'll give the expressions. Growth percent. Then I'll click parenthesis close. Then I'll drag and drop industry. I'll select this only, or this. Then I'll drag and drop industry in the axis and average growth rate in the values field. So now I want to filter it. Suppose I want to see only for the top 5. I'll use top n function and top 5, and I will drag and drop this average industries in the add filter, supply filter. Then I can able to see only top 5. So for example, now I want to see the growth percentage across the industry. I'll pick up any other bar chart here. I want to see only the growth percentage by across the different industries. For example, so I'll drag and drop name in the axis, growth percentage in the values. So we can do the formatting also using this format your visual tab. And now I want key, suppose I want only the staff increment to see by name wise, like across the industry. I'll drag and drop, and the staff increment that we calculated using calculated columns in the values field. And now I want only top 5 to be present. Top and function top 5, then drag and drop staff increment in the data fields, apply filter. I wanted to make it to the donut or pie chart. We can do like that. It will be more appealing to the end users. So, uh, any doubts still here? Like I have explained all the like insights which I can able to draw. And suppose I want to see the industry that is related to the map field, which will not be covered under this session. So that is totally different topic. Yeah. So any doubts?
Awesome, awesome, awesome. So Michael is actually in a very noisy place at the moment, so I'll help him and round up. So awesome section, Chandak. Hello?
Hello. Yeah.
I said awesome, awesome. So we have some few questions in the chat box. So the first one is, if we have a unique ID in the first column and multiple values in the second column, which are separated by a comma, I want to repeat each values for each rows. How will I go about it?
Each values which each rows. Okay, it comes under split options. Okay. So basically, if we want to, for example, I'll click on this transform data. We have this. I'll again cross this. We have this data like one comma name comma, and we have first name comma last name, for example. Then I'll use a split column by delimiter. Basically delimiter, we have different options under delimiter, comma equal sign, or we can either use space also. I'll use space, for example leftmost delimiter. So it doesn't look appropriate, so that's why I chose split column by delimiter that is separated by comma leftmost delimiter. Because we have those commas, it will get separated on the basis of those. Now I want to split this also. I'll again choose comma. Yeah.
Okay, awesome.
No. Hello, Ekta ma'am. My
Yeah.
question is that in front of one there is Anushka and comma Agrawal. So I want to repeat two rows, one, and in front of that, so like Anushka in first row and second in Agrawal. Like that, if that kind of data I have.
Yeah, so
Please
you
clear.
okay, so you have this options now, like in advanced options you have rows. So suppose you want a number of columns to split into two rows, like you want it in rows, so you click on this. 1 second, I think it's um, comma leftmost element rows. Okay, you have to using that option you can split into rows basically. 1 second, I'll show. Yeah.
Okay, so did I
So
answer your question?
sorry.
And I'm asking Ram, did she answer your question?
No, actually,
Yeah.
Anushka, comma Agrawal should show in front of one, but twice should repeat one and the in front of column should show Anushka and second row in Agrawal.
Okay. So you can make changes on it, like it's. Mm, so use equal sign or comma custom. Okay. Right, most delimiter. Let me see how it works. Is it fine? No, yeah, I hope it displays your doc. This
Okay,
is
thank
what
you.
you wanted. Yeah. Mhm.
I'll try way. I think I am
Hmm.
not able to explain correctly. Thank you so much.
Sorry about that. Okay, so another question was, can we get the presentation slide? So someone asked, can we get the presentation slide?
I'll share. Actually, this is related to my company specifics. So
Oh,
yeah.
okay, I understand. I understand. So usually the ending, I'm sure Mike already told you at the end of the section, we're going to ask you two questions. So the first one is, can you share how you started your old data analysis journey and your financial modeling journey? And the second one, what advice do you have for people just starting out in this field also?
Okay, so like my and yeah, so basically I entered data analyst and as a data analyst like 1 year back basically. So the journey has been great. Basically, the what I observed is and what my experience is like Power BI and Tableau. These are the major data visualization tools that are used across all the organizations in the industry. And along with Domo, we have Domo also, like data visual, one of the data visualization tool, but that is not used at a high space as compared to Power BI. So I'm learning even yeah. So it has been a great journey only. So we have in Tableau, like as we have Power Query in Power BI as a data cleaning tool, we have an ETL as a part of ETL process. In fact, I would say so. We have Tableau Prep Builder like that I used as my personal experience. So I got comfort with Power Query in Power BI. So compared with Tableau, so what I observed as working on these two tools is like that. Hmm.
Okay. So what advice do you have for people just starting in the field of data and financial analytics, financial modeling?
Yeah, so basically, I would say that a person who is entering into financial modeling area or in this industry must be well equipped with Microsoft Excel, Microsoft Power BI, Tableau, and all the other related tools. I've also observed that machine learning is also used at a high pace, like machine learning data science tools are also used as at a high pace across the finance industry. So
Okay, that's
yeah.
awesome. So already sent is a question on the chat box. Can you just check it before we close the section? Just open the chat
Yeah,
box and
sure.
see it.
I want result like this. It was my question. Okay. So you have basically name. Okay, values 1, 2, 3. You can use unpivoting option in this case. Unpivoting other columns. Yeah, you can use unpivoting other columns option in this case.
Okay. Okay, so I think we'll be closing now. We're closing now. So thank you very much, Chanda, for such an awesome section.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, Michael said he thinks I think split by column and choose to row might work and choose the row you want might work. So but thank you very much for this awesome section. Thank you. So our next session will be by 4 p.m. So I'll put the message on the chat box. You can join us for Excel by 4 p.m. So thank you, everyone. Bye, and have a lovely day. And thank you, Chandak. Bye.